Ever had something go wrong in your life? Maybe the barista got your coffee order wrong. Maybe someone cut you off on the highway. Maybe one of your parents was an alcoholic. Now every time you see a bottle of Jim Beam, you can't help but think of the consequences that come with it. What if I told you there's an easy and effective way to overcome these traumas? And no, I'm not talking about therapy. It's called breathing. Have you tried breathing? It's just breathe. Just breathe. There's a lot of power in breathing. I mean, it keeps you alive, so. But recently I discovered that it can also be used to heal the mind. All your troubles and traumas can be fixed and worked through with simple breathing. I first stumbled upon this phenomenon when I was scrolling through my social media app of choice, as you do, and to say questions were raised is quite the understatement. This is that video. Yeah. What the hell was that? What was he doing? What was he doing there? Because it sure looked like a lot more than breathing. Why was she writhing on the floor like Smeagol when he had that magical elf rope wrapped around his neck? Me when I find out George R.R. Martin is writing yet another TV show instead of finishing the book that he promised us 12 years ago. I have no idea what's going on in the part where she's like wrapped up in a blanket and she's like writhing around like a worm, but it looks like when you take the iPad off of your 6-year-old cousin. Yeah, look, so that was crazy. And like many people, I had so many questions. So I go to their page to get some answers and I click on the very next video on their page, okay? And this is that video. And I'll warn you right now, it is not edited. I did not edit this video. This is how it is.
The biggest threat to the existing matrix system is people waking up to how powerful they really are.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Why was there a scream? Why was there a scream just cut in there? They never talk about it for the rest of the video. It is like so random. I've never seen anything like this. As soon as I saw the Matrix reference, I was like, oh, okay, it's one of these pages, okay? I know exactly what kind of guy this is. And then there's a random scream just inserted in there, and then it's just brushed over, and he continues talking about escaping the Matrix. I was, what was that? It was so randomly just like inserted in there, but if you take out the scream, it is just like any other generic like life coach TikTok. I've spent enough time on the internet to know that anytime somebody mentions escaping the Matrix, they're just trying to sell you a course. That's what they're doing. They're literally just trying to sell you a course. Everything they're saying is a thin veil that if you just look just under it is just them going, money, yum, yum, I like money, yum. Give me money, yum. And hey, look, that's fine. I like money as well, but can we please just leave the 1999 hit movie and cult classic The Matrix out of it, please? The whole rest of the video, he never mentions anything about what's going on in these clips. He just talks about the grasshoppers versus ants analogy from A Bug's Life, and basically says that the grasshoppers don't want us to know that we actually have all the power and we have the ability to unlock our true power and escape the Matrix. What the hell does that have to do with the breathing and the screaming? Do they teach you guerrilla warfare on these retreats as well? Do they turn all the people that attend these seminars into sleeper agents? What does any of this have to do with the screaming lady? So I go back to the first video and I look at the comments, and it is there that I get this explanation of what it is. The official comment from the page goes as follows. This is 9D breathwork. What you're seeing isn't chaos. It's a lifetime of unspoken pain finally being released. Unlike talk therapy, 9D uses sound, breath, and guided techniques to bypass the mind and go straight to the body, where trauma is stored. That scream, it's not fear, it's freedom. She didn't lose control. She reclaimed it. They then go on to say, have you ever felt something inside you needs to be released, but you don't know how? Visit the main 9D breathwork account in my bio to learn more, and follow me for more real stories like this. Okay, so first of all, this was all written by AI. It's very clear that this is not a real person typing any of this. How many times do you need to use an M-dash? No human uses M-dashes this much. It's even in the description. Brother, who types like this? Second of all, what the hell is 9D? What happened to all the other Ds? When I was a kid, 3D was all the rage, and then they introduced the Shrek 4D adventure, and I thought, whoa, hang on a second. This is way more Ds than I can handle. Wait, hang on. And now they're up to 9D? What could possibly happen in 9D? Shrek comes up to you and sucks your ethereal cock in the 4th dimension. Seriously, where do they come up with this stuff? I don't know. So basically, 9D breathwork is a form of guided meditation with the assistance of headphones and a blindfold that help you overcome your trauma. Now look, if people find that this actually helps them like work through their unresolved trauma and deal with it, then that's actually sick. I'm actually really glad that you found something that helps, but their marketing is absurd. Who is actually in charge of their page? We have only seen 2 videos at this point and they have not described that at all. I went back onto their page after this and I'm not even kidding. This is the 3rd video ever that I clicked on. This is the 3rd video I saw of them. I was just trying to get an understanding of what was happening and I get hit square in the face with this. What am I supposed to take away from this? What was he listening to in those headphones? What was it? Guided meditation with Riley Reid? I just find their marketing so strange and it's almost like a parody of itself. They have like CapCut edits montaging screams together. And they even include that weird little humping, screaming guy clip in like a very serious guided meditation session at one of their retreats.
I want you to look around the room, but I don't want you to do it quickly. I want you to do it slowly. Just realizing that this moment right now is for you. How much you actually really belong here. How much these people see you as community. Go slow. Just feel that sensation.
It's just so strange. All of their videos are so strange. Who the fuck is doing their marketing? I get it if it was working, but most of their videos do not have a lot of views. This video has 12 likes. What is happening? What is actually happening? The amount of social anxiety I would get, I could never do this. I could never just scream in front of a bunch of strangers on a retreat. And another thing, get a wider lens. Jesus Christ. What is going on in half of these clips? Look at this thing. What is going on? It looks like you're giving him the hand job from hell. What is that? If you just pulled the camera out like another 5 centimeters, we'd actually see what's going on. Because right now, I'm starting to think you're filming it like this on purpose. It looks like you're finger blasting that man's ass. It's hilarious. But it is insane. I kept digging on their page and I found an interview with one of their facilitators, basically one of the coaches that guides people through their experience. And the interview snippet that they uploaded just filled me with so many more questions. I feel like the more I know about this stuff, the less I know. You know? He kind of mentions a few things, but doesn't give any clarity or defense as to why people shouldn't be thinking those things. Maybe it's in the full interview, I don't really know, but I couldn't find it. He mentions people are calling him a cult leader. And look, I'm not saying that he is, but this opening shot kind of looks a little culty, man. I'm not gonna lie.
The less that I give, the more powerful I become. I'm coming into more of my own power and just letting go of that rejection. When people reacting to my content, calling me a fucking scam or a cult leader or whatever the fuck people making YouTube videos about me, I'm giving less and less.
You're wearing all white, you have a bunch of followers on a spiritual retreat and you're the leader. That other guy was talking about escaping the Matrix. I just hope you guys aren't serving Kool-Aid at the snack bar. I don't know, I'm not saying it is, but all signs are pointing towards cult. I also just want to touch on the second part of what he says.
Industry, there's strings behind these retreats that are masked as spiritual retreats. Nobody's talking about that. Why is that happening? Well, because there's such deep suppression of that aspect of our humanity as men. And whatever you suppress has to grow.
So is this a sex cult? You didn't exactly say it wasn't a sex cult. You just kind of like deflected the question and was like, hey man, look, no one's really talking about how all these spiritual retreats are actually sex cults. Has anyone thought that it's actually because we're suppressing that part of being a man? You know, the part of a man that says, I really want to start a sex cult. Has anyone thought about that? It kind of sounds like you're saying it's actually natural to have crazy orgies at these retreats. Again, this is all hearsay, and I probably interpreted that so wrong. That's probably not what he meant, and I don't have the full interview. But that's the whole clip, so I have to take that at face value as the message you wanted to get across. This entire thing is so strange. So I did a little bit more digging, and I found their website to get a little bit more insight as to just what 9D Breathwork is all about. 9dbreathwork.com. Join the new generation of breathwork, where ancient wisdom collides with modern technology. I don't know if the website's broken or not, but it says trusted worldwide, with a total of 1 hour of breathwork, 1+ countries, and 1+ certified facilitators. We're not saying exactly how many countries, but 1+ does in fact include all of them. It also could include none of them, but it could be all of them. And it's good to see that there's at least one facilitator that believes in this method. There could be more, but we know that there's at least one. Welcome to the breathwork revolution. Most people are stuck in survival mode. 9D breathwork is here to interrupt that. We've combined breath, sound, frequency, and subconscious programming into a single precision-engineered system. The result? Real, lasting transformation you can feel in minutes. Minutes? Years and years of trauma removed in minutes. My God, this is a miracle. Some of the benefits of 9D breathwork. Nervous system regulation. In a world addicted to chaos, regulation is a radical act. In a world addicted to chaos, breathing? Man, that's a radical act, all right? That's actually an act of terrorism, okay? You need to stop breathing right now. The government does not want you to know that you can actually breathe. Yeah, that's actually something you can do. 9D activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's built-in reset button through deep rhythmic breathing and frequency-guided sound. I'll be honest, no idea what that is. Let me ask ChatGPT real quick. Key functions of the parasympathetic system. Enhances sexual arousal and salivation? Ah, okay. Now I know what that guy was doing. Emotional release? What the hell is... Where is that guy's hand? Why are they choosing the most insane photos and videos to show of this therapy? Man, this is not making me want to do it. Global 9D breathwork revolution. We're in 80+ countries and growing. Well, at the start it said 1+ countries, but I guess that does include 80. People don't need another guru or app. They need real nervous system change. That's 9D, which is a funny thing for them to say because they actually do have an app. So it's kind of like a weird line to throw in there when you yourself actually have an app, which I will be downloading and using in this video. Want to experience it yourself in person? My God, yes. Yes, I do. All right, let's type in Melbourne and let's see if there's any facilitators in Australia. Okay, and go. Okay, nothing happened. Let's try Australia. Maybe they're just like, what the hell is Melbourne? Okay, go. Okay, nothing's happening. Still skeptical? Good. Still think this is all bullshit? Excellent. That's exactly how we want you to go into this. You should be skeptical, and we respect that. Yeah, we actually want you to be skeptical. Spectacle? That's why we put every common doubt and concern in one place. No fluff, just answers. Every breath you ignore keeps you stuck in the loop. It's time to break the loop. Breathe like it matters. Breathe like breathing is keeping you alive, okay? That's what's gonna unlock the matrix. That's how you're gonna escape. How does 9D breathing work? We actually have a breakdown of the 9 Ds. Number 1, 9D multi-dimensional sound experience. What? They've somehow included multiple dimensions into this sound experience. Scientifically engineered multi-directional soundscapes. Okay, did you mean 9D multi-directional sound experience? Because multi-dimensional is a different thing. I feel like it's a different thing. So wait, that's already 9Ds in itself. What are these other 8? Sounds like it should be called 17D breathwork. Obviously, we've got things like the solfeggio frequencies. Everyone obviously knows about the solfeggio frequencies, such as the 396 hertz frequency, known for its role in releasing fear and guilt. Not to mention the isocratic brainwave tones. You know, that's good. But we've also got the 432 hertz harmonic tuning, which is scientifically proven to resonate harmonically with human biological frequencies. What the f are you talking about? Subliminal hypnotic therapy? That can't be good at all. I don't like the idea of strangers doing subliminal hypnotic therapy. What's the subliminal messaging they're having there? You want to have a giant orgy. This retreat is about having a giant orgy. Find a facilitator near you. Find me one. Okay, all right, enter my location. Okay, this actually seems like a real map. So if we type in Australia, maybe we'll actually find some people. Okay, go. No. This is not edited. How is, okay, so there's no facilitators in Australia, but I can see on the map, it says that there's 19 of them on the eastern side of Australia. So Why didn't it come up? They're like, yeah, no, we don't. We keep the Australian one secret. Okay, so there's actually 6 in Victoria. Apparently there's 2 in the CBD. So if we just click... Okay, it just brings me to Elizabeth Street. Okay. All right, so I think the next step from here is to get the 9D breathwork app and do some guided meditation. Who knows, maybe some of the subliminal messaging will get to me and I'll start thinking orgies are like a really cool, good idea, and maybe I'll figure out a way to escape the Matrix. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so 9D Breathwork has 15 5-star ratings. Miss Christy Ferrari, 9D Breathwork has not only changed my life and allowed me to heal, but has also now given me the chance to help others do the same. Okay, so this rating is obviously from someone that's bought in as a facilitator to the program. I don't think that really counts. I love this app so much, it's made learning breathwork and making it a daily practice so easy. Went from being a stressed out independent mama, awesome, to be grounded and in tune with all that surrounds me over being reactive to my environment. Would highly recommend to anyone. Okay. Immediately getting into here. Welcome to 9D Breathwork. Start here and how to breathe. Okay, I gotta make sure I click on the how to breathe 2-minute tutorial because I feel like everyone needs to know that. I feel like everyone needs to know to breathe. So it's good they got a 2-minute tutorial on it. Oh, and then we have a bunch of locked courses as well. Abundance Shift, 45 minutes. It's $1,000 a year? Oh my God. Dude, oh, well, actually, hang on. Sorry, there's a monthly trial for only $149 a month. What? Are you, for breathing? That is insane. $149 a month for learning how to breathe. Well, look, let's start with the tutorial and then maybe it'll incentivize us to move further and possibly pay for the full version. Now, it's also important to follow, you know, what we've seen online. So I've actually got my eye mask here. So let's put that bad boy on and let's prepare to learn how to breathe. Okay. Where's my phone? Going into this, I needed a clear mind. I needed 0 distractions so that I could focus on, and then
the hell?
Frank came over.
Oh. Hey.
I was still listening to the introduction at this point and things immediately got weird when he started listing off a disclaimer.
You're currently living with cardiovascular or respiratory conditions, or pregnant, have had recent surgery, experienced seizures, or on heavy medications, have type 1 diabetes or any history of severe depression.
What?
Please consult with your physician before participating in any activating breathing session.
What the hell is this breathing session gonna do? I can't be pregnant?
All right, I just finished the start here, and one thing they got going for them is the sound design is really awesome with headphones on. I can see that, I can feel all the D's. Let me tell you right now, I can feel all the D's. Next up was the how to breathe tutorial, where I was going to learn how to breathe, as the title suggests. But after a short demonstration,
it sounds like this.
I was beginning to have some doubts as to just how effective this new breathing technique would actually be.
What the fuck? Okay, so straight away after doing the how to breathe session, it sounds like the breathing is going to give me a panic attack. It sounds like the breathing is going to make me hyperventilate. This is how they want you to breathe. If I'm doing that for 40 minutes straight, I'm gonna have a panic attack.
But putting my doubts aside and my money where my mouth is, I decided to do a full 45-minute abundant shift guided meditation session. Whatever the hell that means.
Seriously though, let's get started.
Meditation is hard in any respect, regardless of how many D's you have to assist you. I spent the first few minutes just really trying to clear my mind and listen to the voice guiding me through the experience, but was quickly distracted by these subliminal messages that were being whispered in my ear.
Money is your birthright.
Money is your birthright. Money is my birthright.
It was then that the first round of active breath work began. I could feel the oxygen filling my lungs as it was swiftly exited from my body via also the lungs. And it only took a few minutes of this for me to feel extremely lightheaded to the point where I actually had to stop.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up or pass out I'm not even kidding. Oh. That was enough for Frank to leave. Breathing that way is not healthy. I have to be doing that wrong.
That's what I thought, but looking up the symptoms of hyperventilation after this recording, I found that the symptoms include feeling lightheaded, dizzy or weak, difficulty focusing, fast and pounding heartbeat, a headache, and what concerns me most of all reading this now, numbness and tingling in your arms. I thought at the time that it was just the meditation working its magic, but I actually felt my arms tingling and going numb, and now I realize it's because I didn't have enough carbon dioxide. But at the time, I kept going, and at around the 20-minute mark, I was starting to get delirious.
Just think about how funny it'd be to scream right now.
As the guided meditation kept going, the things that the instructor was calling out just subtly became more and more ridiculous. It was beginning to really get hard to take seriously.
Activating wealth codes now? Let's fucking go.
Just imagine I'm writing you a check right now for $1 million. But it won't show up in your bank account for another 6 months. Let that sink in. Really feel it.
There's a sink at the door?
To keep choosing this frequency, this feeling of abundance.
What did he say? Was that a British accent? What was that? Abundance. Some more abundance, please. Please, sir, can I have some more abundance, please?
Amplifies all the good things about you.
Money amplifies all the good things about you. Wait, what? Imagine being cool. Okay, now imagine having money and being cool. Yeah.
Money is
fucking
just
way
a
better.
consequence of adding value.
Facts, bro.
When the heart starts beating coherently, it creates a measurable magnetic field up to 3 meters wide. And
Does it? Money represents the best and most beautiful of what humanity has to offer, is what he just said to me.
And just like that, I was done.
That's it. I think that's it. Yeah, so lots to unpack there. Let's start with the messaging. There was a lot of manifestation, a lot of like, I'm not rich right now, but if I have a rich mindset, I will be rich. I'm just not rich yet. I'm actually a millionaire, I just don't have access to it. There was actually some really weird subliminal things that he'd whisper in your ear, like money makes you a better person kind of thing. And I was like, that's a weird thing to be whispering in my ear. There was one point where he asks you to like let out a scream, but I was not going to do that. I live in an apartment, so I'm not doing that. All in all, it was kind of exactly what you'd expect. It was just a guided meditation. The guy does have a very soothing voice, I'll give him that. Is it worth $149 a month? Yeah, probably not. I think you can find an abundance of these on YouTube. Yeah, use your abundance mindset that you just got from listening to this meditation and find some free ones on YouTube. Because $150 a month is an absolute rort. All in all, I didn't really get the breakthrough that we saw in those videos where I screamed and cried and shit my pants. But maybe that was because he wasn't fingering my asshole while I was doing the meditation. I'm not too sure. I can see how going on like a meditation retreat would actually make you feel pretty good, because meditation in general just makes you feel good. It would be weird for me to like finish that and be like, yo, I actually feel shit after that. That was actually bullshit. So meditation is good. Do I think all of these spiritual retreats are usually a scam and really overpriced? Yeah, I do think that. This hasn't changed my opinion at all. I mean, you can literally do this at home, like I just did. So, but you know, if that's something that people are into and they found it helps them and that's how they want to spend their money, then you know, that's great. It's their lives. You know, they can do whatever they want. For me personally, it's not for me. Oh yeah, there was one point where he said, when the heart starts beating coherently, it creates a magnetic field 3 meters wide. What the fuck was that? That so took me out of it. Is that even true? I'm gonna look that up right now.
The heart does create a magnetic field and it's measurable. However, the strength of that magnetic field is actually quite weak. It's usually only detectable a few centimeters away from the body without super sensitive equipment.
Well, that was disappointing. Just like I thought, it was fucking bullshit. Which makes me think, what else is he saying in these seminars that is also bullshit? It also has to be said that there's definitely an element of preying on vulnerable people with these kind of seminars and this stuff. Like paying $150 a month for meditation stuff to improve your life is so expensive. And all it's doing is like, yeah, you actually are rich. Or you're living just below the poverty line? No, but think about it. If your mindset is that of a rich person, you'll actually be rich. Anyway, You know what'll make you richer? Spending $149 a month on this app. That'll actually make you so rich. And it's easy for these coaches and like the owner of 90 Breathwork to say the abundance mindset works because he's charging $149 a month to anybody that wants to listen to him talk. And he's running these seminars in like Bali and like all over the world where he obviously gets paid for it, a lot of money. He probably does have an abundance of wealth because of this. Preying on people that are like, man, look, honestly, I'll just try anything at this point. If being rich is a mindset, all right, sweet. I'm gonna spend 10 grand on a course in Bali to teach me that being poor is actually just my fault because I'm not thinking rich.
And there you have it. This video was a lot of fun to make, so I hope you guys had just as much fun watching it. Anyway, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Leave a comment of a little meditating person if you made it this far. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.